Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's the day two of Java development course by Tech OctaNet Services, and we have our instructor Mr. Chinmay Pradhan. So, shall we start, Mr. Chinmay?
Yeah, sure, Pradhan. So, welcome back, everyone. This is Chinmay Pradhan, and today we'll start the day two of Java development session. Okay, so as in last class, I think we completed the for loop, and today we'll see some different types of loop. We covered while loop, do while loop, and also for loop. So, let me take you to the note today. So, we already covered while loop and also just we also covered do while loop and for loop. So in C, you see in C programming language, as you know, you are acquainted with these three type of loops. But in Java and also in Python, like what do you call the modern type of object-oriented language, there's another type of for loop, which we call for each loop. Or
Hello,
sometimes
please
you may heard
present your
the
screen.
word.
Hello, please present your screen, please.
Okay, okay, sorry, sorry. Yeah, I think it is good now. Okay, sorry for that. Okay. So here it is. We already covered while loop, do while loop, and for loop. But in Java, we see another type of loop, what we call for each loop. And sometimes we also call this as enhanced for loop. So what is that? Like what is for each loop and what is or enhanced for loop? See, uh, if we write for loop as means we know from previous, we need to what for we have an initial position, which is I is equal to 0. We need an initial position. We need a terminate condition or final position, like while I is less than equal to 10. Okay. And we also need an increment or decrement, like every other loop. So that's how our normal what do you call for loop is uh, continuing. But in case of for each loop, just imagine a condition like you don't know how many elements are there. Okay. Like here I know that I need to start at 0. I need to end at 10. Here I know that I need to start at 0 and end at 10. But what happens if I don't know that where I need to start and don't know, I don't know where to start and where to end. So this type of condition can also means we face sometimes like we have some array. We'll study about it today. We have array. We don't know the starting position. We don't know the ending position. Okay, but we need to travel the entire array. Okay. But in array, we know that it is 0 and the last one is length minus 1. But think about a condition where we don't know the starting and ending condition. So at that time, we use for each loop. In for each loop, what we do, we just simply create, means write for and create a variable. And that variable let whatever inside, let's that name is our unknown. I give the name is unknown. Okay. The variable unknown. So if you take the variable unknown and what it does, I just write some statements. That statements will just do some work. do some work, and provide with the desirable output. But if you see here, I did not write any condition. I did not write any increment condition. I did not write any start condition, or I did not write any end condition. Okay, all those conditions I didn't write. What I write only a name of the array or any string, whatever I want to visit, and a variable just to store it. So we can take an example. Just do an example of it. So I can declare an array. Uh, don't worry if you don't know how to declare array in Java. In the next few hours, we are going to cover how to declare an array. So let's suppose is 100. So can anybody say what it will print? Does it print? Just a minute. I run it and show you. Sorry, okay, it is saved. So what is print? It print 100, 200, 300, 400. Let me copy the code, paste it here. Oh, great. So here what I do, it is normal classes. As I said, we have package. Inside the package, we have classes, and inside the classes, we have modules. And main module is the starting point for any program. Okay, great. So here I just create an array. Sorry. Okay. Here I just create an array. So the array is 100, 200, 300, and 400. That's an array. And here I just write for each loop or enhance for loop, whatever you can say. So here you can see there is no starting, no ending, and also no increment and decrement condition. Then how it is operating? So what it does, it just say the what compiler that give me one by one all the what you call elements present in an array. Or let's suppose make consider it as a container. Okay, consider it as a container. Like this is a container, and there is some what uh, you can call some boxes. There is some boxes. Okay, box 100, box 200, box 300, and box 400. And you need to take out like this. Like this is the opening of this is the container, and this is the opening of the container. Okay, this point is the opening of the container. If this point is the opening of the container, so how you can remove the boxes? First, you need to remove 100, then you remove 200, then 300, then 400. So like that. First, what it does, it remove 100 and store it in I. Then it print I. So that's why output is I. Then it remove 200 and store it in again I. Then it will print 200. Then 300 and same for 400. After the element ends, nothing will be stored in I. So the loop will be over. So this is what for each loop is. After for each loop, okay. So yesterday class there's some doubt. Actually, I think we there's at 8:30 somebody asked some doubt like what is interpreter, what is compiler, like or somebody asked that primitive, primitive and non-primitive. Also, some doubt is on interpreter. Okay, okay. Let's clear this out. This is very. It will take very less time. What is primitive and non-primitive? So see, primitive is any type of data type what we study. Whatever data type we studied. We studied integer. We studied about float or double. We also studied about character. We also studied about string. We also studied about what we call boolean. Boolean. Those are already predefined. Okay, those are already predefined. But that's why we call it primitive. What is non-primitive? Non-primitive are user defined. Means as a user, we can define. So I think I mentioned that integer is only 4 bytes. Okay. Then float is 4 bytes. Character is 2 bytes. String can be any byte, but boolean is only 2 bytes. So I think I mentioned all of these things. So integer is 4 bytes. We can't change anything about integer. It will be 4 bytes. But any user-defined functions or non-primitive functions, in that case, what do we need to do? We can define the size. You can define their name, like variable name or their data type. Like if you see, you know about character array, okay? You know about integer array. Exactly. Like that, you also know about integer array and character array. So what is character array? Array is the type of primitive data type. Means it store all the value like a character. And array of integer. Array of integer means it will store all the integers. Inside it, only integer will be stored. And in character, only characters are stored. Like A, B, C, D. Okay. And about the size, we can see that character is 4 byte, sorry, 2 byte, and integer is 4 bytes. Okay. But there is no size for an array. We can define this as an array as 2 bytes. We can define as 1000 bytes. There's nothing like means restriction on it. We can define any size array. Okay. That's the basic difference between primitive and non-primitive. The second out is about interpreter and compiler. So what it does. So means if you Google it, so the basic difference there. So that what compiler does, if I write a bunch of code, like I write a code, there's so many codes. Okay, this one, two, three, four, five lines of code I write. Okay. So what compiler does? Compiler take the entire code and compile it. Okay. So if I get an error, like here I have an error at point 3. So if I use compiler, I never know where the error is. Exactly. Where the error is. Because nowadays we know more powerful compilers are there, so they can detect it, but they detect in the using the method of interpreter. Okay. But if you go and previously if you use some what legacy compilers, there you face that problem. You can't detect where the error is because the entire code compiled at one time. So what is interpreter? What interpreter does, it does the same thing. It will compile it, but line by line. First it compile main, then it compile one, then two, then three. If the error is at three, then it will show the error. Okay, that's what interpreter does. Okay, so how we can need? What is the advantages of interpreter then? The first advantage is we can know where the error is. So if there is any error, so we can use something called error handling. Error handling. Okay. So through error handling, what we can do, we can just skip this third part. Okay. If I third part, if I want, I can just skip the third point. If there is any error, I can directly jump from 2 to 4, and I can process everything. If I'm doing in a enterprise type of project, so many bugs and errors are there, right? So I can start from here. If there is any error at 3, I can just skip over here and go over there. So everything about that we will run at error handling process. Okay, great. So that's two doubt I think last class somebody of you asked. So I think those doubts are clear. Okay, guys, I think last class those who asked the doubt, I think the doubts are clear. All right. So we studied about for each loop, right? For each loop. We studied about that, right? Okay. So after for each loop, the last type of loop what we studied is called switch. We don't call it a switch loop. We call it a switch statement. Why you call it switch statement? What is switch? Switch means if I am here and there's a switch like this is on, this is off. What does it mean? If I click on, then like it is a fan is there, the fan will rotate. If I click off, the fan will stop rotating. The switch will work. It is right now in rotating state. When I click on, when I click off, it will be in stop state. So that word switch means jumping from one thing to another. So how we can just write a switch statement and how it can helpful for us. Let's see a simple syntax of switch. So switch, we just give any variable inside it. Then we just simply write case of some variable. Let's this variable is var1, var1. Okay. For that, we write a statement. Then case var2. For that, we write another statement. Like that, we are going to write the different cases and different variables. And at last, we need to write default. If nothing comes under case 1, case 2, or case 3, then it will comes under default. And for that, we need to write a default statement. Okay. So let's take an example for it. Let's create another package, new package. I think everyone download the ID, this ID, as I said in yesterday class. We're going to do some coding today. Okay. So in ID, I'll just show you how to create the package. Just click at the source or Java Basics or what the project name you give or at source file. Just right click over here, go to new and create a package. So today's day 2, so we can write day 2. Okay. Finished. The package is already created. So just right click on day 2 and create a class. Create a class. So what we are going to do, we are going to study switch. Yes. Switch uh, case. Okay, name is switch case. Okay, finish. Switch case for Java class is already created. Let's do. So what we can do, we can let's consider an example of our mark. If we get let us say, let's consider an example of our mark. If we get more than 90, 90 or more than 90, that is O grade. Okay. If we get more than 80, then it is I think E. More than 70, it is A. And like that we have till C. But we consider those three marks. And uh, less than 70, less than 70, we'll consider it as default. Means let's suppose average. We call it an average. So this system we need to create. Means this type of code you need to write. So let's write. We'll write an integer. Let's suppose my mark. Integer is my mark. And let's suppose right now I secure 80. Okay. And I need to write the switcher. Which what it takes a variable. It takes variable as mark. After that, I write a case. Okay, this 80, right? What we can do, in this case, an integer. So grade 4. Right, I can copy this statement. It is 9, it is 8, It will be not 6, yes, default. Average. Okay. Small program I write. Let's see what it gives the output. EA average. Okay. So after that, okay, guys. So what I did over, and I also say you what why it shows three different outputs. So we're going to learn another uh, type of condition user. So let's paste the code over here. This is code. So what I does switch statement. I just input my mark as 80. So if I input my mark as 80, you see all the mark between 80 to 90. I consider is that uh, E grade. I consider is that E grade. So what I need to do, I can write switch every like case for case 80 for case till case 90. What I need to write? I need to write E grade. Okay. So you think no, this is a bunch of code. I need to write so many lines of codes over here. Nearly 10 lines of codes I need to write. That is actually a time consuming call. So what I did over here, I just take the mark. My mark is right now 80. Anything between 80 to 90, just think if I divide it 80 divided by 10 or 81 divided by 10 or 89 divided by 10, what will be my output? This will be 8, this will be 8.1, this will be 8.9. But as you all know that in division or basically in computer, whatever any language, if you just simply divide anything, what do you see? Integer with integer. So what it will give? It will give an integer. An integer with integer. What it will give? Obviously an integer. But this is a float point. So computer will not accept your float point. So what it does? It just means simply remove the floating points and give only the integers. So 89 divided by 10 is also 8. Okay. Because it will be not 8.9 because 0.9 is a floating point. And as you see that both of the values are since integer, I divide two integers, then I can't just get a floating point in computer science. Okay. So it just simply remove the floating point and give only the integer value. So I use that what condition that we have like division always give me an integer value. Means integer divided by integer always give me an integer value. So I just divide the mark by 10. Then I put that mark here. Here what I get? 10. So like now my mark is 80. Okay. 80 divided by 10. What I get? 8. So at case 8, what I get? E. So my output is also E. But after my output E, you will see A and average. These two things are also get printed. Okay. Why it gets printed? If you notice in while loop and do while loop, what we did at some point, like if I reach my condition, like if I want to print between 0 to 10, I give a condition that till 10 you are going to print. Okay. After that, you need to what? Get out of the loop. Get out of the loop. That's my condition. You need to print till 0 to 10. Yesterday class we see over there. But here, there's nothing condition like that. When it reached, see, integer m is equal to mark divided by 10. So it will give me the output. So it will give me the output as 8. Okay. So it will come directly here. Switch statement means what? If it is getting 8 and passing switch m is equal to 8 over here, then it will come directly here. After successfully executing this statement, there is nothing means what machine will do. Machine will think, yeah, I just execute that. I need to go down. It will go down. There is another statement. So it will go down and down and down. So that's why it print everything. Then how to tackle this condition? Because I only need E. So we write something what we call break. Okay, simple break. Nothing else. We call it break statement. You simply write break. At last you can write break or you can't. This is not matter because we are already at last. So if we write it is okay. If we don't write, this is also acceptable. Okay. Yes. See, now I only get E. Now let's dry run this one and see how this code actually works. So what it does here, once it get M value as 8, so it comes like here M value is 8. Okay, M value is 8. So it switch to this statement and print this. Okay, it print E. After it print E, it will go down. So it will face the break statement. A break statement. What a break does? A break actually what break the loop. Any loop. If you write a while loop and inside while loop, if you just simply write a break. So after the first iteration or after running for one time, the loop will be break. The loop will break and the what? Our pointer will be comes outside of that loop. Let me show you an example. I think everyone clear about break statement. Let me show an example of while loop or for loop. Let's write a simple for loop for process. If I just write I, see one and I write a break statement and run it. You see it only print one. Get it? Because the break statement is there. So after it just means study, it will see yes, I is equal to 1. So it is print I is equal to 1. Then it face a break statement. So the entire loop going to be break. But if I just remove the break statement and again run it, then you can see it will print 1 to 10. Because how the for loop works, you know, guys. So like that, the for loop works in its normal form. Okay. Let's suppose I don't want 5. Exactly. I don't want 5 in this number. Or let's suppose this is the roll number of my class and the fifth guy actually what left the school. Okay. So what I can write if I equal to 5, at that condition only you need to break. Okay. Sorry, I am saying about 5. Let's suppose I don't want any number from 5 to 10. So what I can write if I equal to 5, whenever you encounter 5, then just break the statement. So let's see what it does. Whenever it encounter 5, so when I is equal to 5, at that time it print. After that, whatever it is entering the loop I equal to 5, yes, it is satisfied. So it is breaking the statement. Okay, so how many different types of this type of statements we have? So basically we have three different types of statement for what we call flow, to control the flow, or controlling the flow. We have three different types of statement. Okay, first one is break. We should just see how the break works. The second one is continue, and the third one is we call this return. Okay, guys. I think everyone clear about break statement. Just gives a thumbs up or anything. Yes. So are everyone clear about break statement? How it's work? Okay, great. So we just completed break statement. Then let's start about return statement. What break does? Whenever we encounter a break, whenever we encounter the break, as then the loop is actually terminated. The entire loop getting terminated. Exactly. But what continue does? Whenever you encounter a continue, whenever you encounter a continue statement, at that time, that specific point will not be considered. Mean whenever you just encounter a continue statement, at that time, whatever the loop, at what point the loop is, like the loop right now is at 5, only that point will be not considered. It will just means what? Go to 6. Like right now we are in 4, and at 5, let's suppose I encounter a continuous statement. So at that time, it will not consider 5. It will directly jump to 6. Let's see how it's working. Okay. So let's go to the code and see how continuous statement working. This is simple. At 5, I need to break. So I think it is clear. Like here in break, first I need to print 1 to 10, but after I write break statement, it will print only 1 to 5. Let's see what happens if I write continue. See. Okay, okay, it's already printing. Yeah. So guys, as you can notice, whenever my statement phase I equal to 5, so at that time you can see there is no 5 in this output. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I directly jump to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is no 5. So what happening actually? Let's do a dry run. As I suggested, so everyone should have a pen and paper because dry run is actually important in any coding language. So let's do the dry run. So what happening exactly? Here my loop need to run from 1 to 10. So generally what it need to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it need to print those things. But right now what happened? If I encounter I equal to 5, when I is equal to 1, satisfied. This condition is not met, right? It will simply print it. When I is equal to 2, satisfied, 3 satisfied, 4 satisfied. When I is equal to 5, at that time, yes, I is equal to 5. This statement is what? Satisfied. It is true. So what that does, it give a means it encounter continue. So as I said, whenever you encounter continue, you just skip that point. Skip that point. So it simply skip means those things will not be printed. So if those things not be printed, it will again go to the for loop. At for loop, it finds 6. Is I equal to 6? No. So it will be going to print what? System.out println 6. So there will be no 5 in the statement. There will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think this is clear for everyone how we can use continue where continue use. And the third thing is return. Return is a statement like if you notice here, we write public static void main, right? Public static void main. So what this void is? Void means null. Nothing is there. Nothing. Nothing going to be returned by the main function. But if you see in some function, we need to return something. Like if I have a module, you see like what in working or in any real life example. Let's take some real life example. Okay, I need to bake a cake. Bake a cake. Okay. So first of all, what I need to do? I need to give the cake base here, and I need to bake it. After baking, I need to give that baked cake to a what do you call decoration. Decoration. Then after decoration, I need to give it to let's suppose packing. Okay. So, what I input over here, I input, let's suppose the wheat, I input sugar, I input what some yeast or what for creating cake. I just input over here. I create the base and bake it. After baking it, what I do? Those initial raw material, I'm not just putting it over the decoration. What I did, what I just put the raw material in the bake machine, and bake machine just bake those things and give the cake output, means the base of the cake to what? To the decoration machine. Like that, in coding also, we also need to what? Give some output to other models, to other models. Okay, some outputs to other models. Let's take an example. Let I have a main function, and in main function I need to do so many maths. Okay, mathematics things, mathematics. Okay. And let's suppose I need to do multiple time. Multiple time I need to do the squaring function. Okay, so every time I means not going to do x into x. If I need to y is equal to x into x, every time I'm not going to do that. Okay, if I need a square function, every time I'm not going to write y is equal to x into x and less after 4 5 statement again I need a square. So I'm not going to write. Okay, so what I did, I just create a function for that. There's a function and function name is square. But this math actually gives something to it and it will do what? Y is equal to x into x and it will be return y. Return y. So what does it mean? This y right now returning to the main statement. Main will give some input, it will return to the main statement. We'll see this in our coding. Okay. But this is how the syntax is working. Okay. Let's see this in code. What I said in the main statement, I'm going to write something. Oh, in the main statement, let I have a square function or what I have. Let's do square. And integer result is equal to what the class was. Which is is dot square. And I input let's suppose 10. I made 10 square. Then I need to print. That's it. So let's create another model. I give the model name as okay 100. Let's suppose I pass over here 7. So 7 into 7, 49. Yeah, we get the 49 here. So what it does. And I think you guys are a little bit confused about how these things happening. So let's dry run it. So let's dry run this code. Uh, what I said in my previous lectures that if you know, there is something called class. Okay, and through this class, think like this class as a phone. Like I said, this class is a phone. And different types of phones we have. We have Samsung, we have Moto, we have Apple. So what those things are? I said those things are objects. Objects. Okay. Class and objects. So just think like if there is anything inside this class, if I create anything, if I create a Samsung phone, it will be belong to what? Phone. Moto is also belong to what? A phone. Apple is also belong to what? A phone. So that's why what I did. My class is switch case. Okay. So inside switch case, I have two modules. One is main, the other one is what? Square. One is main, the other one is square module. So if I need to call square, so where I need to go? First, I need to go to the class. Means if there is a box, inside box I have a main, I have a square, and main don't know that there is any square, and square also don't know there is any main. So if a person want to, a person is in main, okay, and it want to access the square. So what it does first, like let me clear explain it in some easy way. Like think that you are in a box, okay. There is a box. This box is a class, okay. Inside that two boxes there. Two boxes there. This box name is main. This box name is square. So what happened? If the person is sitting inside the main, so what it he don't know that there is any square box or cube box or any other box present inside this class. This class name is switch case, okay. Switch case. The person don't know like there is anything inside this class or not. Only you know that yes, I am in main. So what he or she need to do? He just getting out of the box and just what visiting each and every section of the class. And if he find anything like square, then he just enter inside this square, take whatever he or she want to take, and what again come to the class and enter into the main function and put it over here. Let the square contain the key. Okay, and here I have a log. So first, what I need to do, I need to go to class. Then I search where this square is. Yeah, I need to enter inside the square, take the key, and put it inside the main. The same is happening over here. There is switch. Switch is my container. What I did, I just call a razor in square. So what that this person actually comes out to switch and go and searching square. Yeah, dot square. Inside square, you need to put the number 7. So you just come to this module, and in this now, you can see it as there is this 7 actually comes to here. Okay. So what it returns? It returns it returns 7 into 7. So 7 return 7 to 7 means what? The person comes here, take his whatever he or she want to take, then again what return to his main function because the person's house is in main. So it return to main and give this result the value of 7 into 7, that is 49. Just give the value 49 to the result and then only print the result. That's what the return statement does. And that is also how the modules are working, different types of modules. Okay. In C and C++, we call them functions. Exactly, functions. But in Java, we call them modules. Or sometimes we also call them functions. Okay. There's nothing like that. But Java people call them modules and C and C++ people call them functions. Like this is a main function, this is a square function in C++. In Java, we call this is the main module, this is a square module. That's it. No differences there. If you want to use function, it will be okay. So I think we completed the return statement. So till now, anybody have any doubt? Continue, skip the current iteration. Yeah, yes, sir. That I said, no, we can't. What happening in continue? Where we are, we just ignore that. Okay. Anything else? Okay, great. So here we just end the all the control statement in Java. Okay, control statement ends. So after control statement, let's learn how we can input data. How we can input data and how we can get the output. Because in most of the time we're going to what? Input some data and get some output, right? Most of the time we're just going to input some data and we need to do some computing. What a computer does. It take the user input and do some computing over here and give an output. So we need to learn about how we can input our data, how we can get the output. So for input, previously actually what Java people does, they just use something what we call buffer reader, buffer reader and input stream, input stream reader. Actually, two functions are used and for only input thing. Okay, only for input they are using two functions. But you see, this is actually a very big one. So currently we are not using this, and this is also you are not going to use this in any of your what, projects or any of your coding section. So what we consider, we consider scanner class, scanner. Okay, these two things are there. Okay, with using these two things, I'll just show you in the coding that how these things are operating. But this is actually we are not using it in generally. We generally use the scanner class. So how the scanner class actually operated? Scanner, what I said, scanner is a class. So for using any class, what do you need to do? Get an object for it. Like a container is there, and in container I have a Samsung phone and a Moto phone. So I want, yeah, those are two phones. But right now I want, if I want Samsung, I want Samsung. I will take Samsung, right? Those have the quality of all the phones. Okay. Samsung have quality of all the phones. Moto have also quality of all the phones. But if I need to choose, I choose an object or not. I choose the Samsung and not choose the phone. Because if I choose the phone, I'm going to choose all the phones, right? Samsung, Moto, Apple, all the phones. If I want to buy a phone, that I buy Samsung. So I choose an object. So for every class, we need to create an object. So let's study how to declare an object. Object declaration. Object declaration. How you can declare an object. It is very simple. See, in object declaration, what you need to do, you just need to mention the class name. That here the class is scanner. Okay, I mentioned the class name. Then a variable. You can write anything. Okay, variable name. I write the variable as in. I write the variable as the my scanner. I write the variable as the okay. Okay, anything. I write the variable as apple. Here I can write anything. Okay, is equal to. I need to write a new. New is a statement. Okay, I'll say what it does. Then again I need to write the scanner class. Scanner is a class. Okay, so it will come with a parenthesis. So what it does, there is a variable of scanner class type. So like if I have a class 4 and I have my own phone of let's suppose Moto. So Moto is like a phone or not? If I have a Samsung phone, Samsung is like a phone or not? Samsung is like a phone or not? Like that. If I create in is like a scanner. My scanner is like a scanner. Scanner is the class and those things are the object. We create the object in the name of variable. Okay. Then I use new keyword. What it does, if somebody of are you from C or C plus plus background, then you guys know that we use something like malloc or calloc. What it does, it just dynamically allocate the memory. Allocate the memory. Okay. Calloc or malloc, what it does, it just dynamically allocate the memory. New also did the same. New only allocate the memory to what? Where? This object. What new object we created? What new does? New only allocate the memory. What new does? New allocate the memory. Allocate the memory. Okay, great. And this is a scanner class type. memory for a scanner class type. I think it is understandable how a object is declared. Is it clear? This gives a thumbs up. Yeah, just give a thumbs up. Is it clear? Or if anybody have any doubt, then they can ask because object is the most important topic actually. Yeah, clear. Okay. Do anybody have any doubt about object declaration and all? Okay, great. No doubt about object declaration. So let's take the input. Okay, if you see, we already studied about how to take the input, right? Okay, I will write in code, then I will explain how to take the input. But about output, I think we are using it from the very beginning. System dot out dot println. This thing we are using, right? This is for output. Means inside that, whatever we write, it will just print. Also with println, what we can write? System dot out dot only simple print. Okay, we'll see those two cases in our coding. Let's directly jump into the coding. So, okay, let's do some coding. Let's get a scanner. Scanner in is equal to scanner system dot in that I created. Okay, I create a scanner type. What object and object name is in, and new is going to what allocate the memory of the scanner. And what I write system dot in for taking the input. But here you can see a error is showing. If you notice, a error is showing. And why those error is showing? Let's I just click and enter. Uh, See, some quick fixes are here. In quick fixes, it said that import scanner java.util. So what it does? Scanner is not present in this one concept of import or libraries, Java libraries. As I said before, what we have? We have Java libraries. Inside Java libraries, we have packages. And inside packages, we have classes. And inside classes, what we have? We have modules. Modules. Okay. So what we have Java libraries, inside Java package, then modules. So by default, Java dot lang is actually what called in this what ID by default Java dot lang is actually called. Okay, but if we want to use scanner, it is not present in Java dot lang. Okay, it is present in some different package. Scanner have some different package. Like that, if you want to use square method or root over or cube root. Okay, so those things are of what math. So that's those are present in math package. Okay, so different packages are there. So scanner is not present in lang package, and lang is by default present in the Eclipse ID. But if you are going to write it in Notepad, I think some of you are going to write it in Notepad. In Notepad, you see you are going to face an error if you write this much of code, because Notepad will suggest that please write import java dot lang dot star. Notepad will say import java dot lang dot star, because in Notepad there is nothing like a default. Okay, Notepad you need to write everything. But since we are using the Eclipse ID by default taking java dot lang, because it is means used most of the time, like all the input output and every functions, like the basic function, the main, creating the main and this block, those are actually created by the java.lang. That's why in interview, maybe someone going to ask, what is the other name of java.lang? You are going to say it is a wrapper class. It is a wrapper class. Why it is called wrapper class? Because what Java does lang does, see, previously we also write functions. See, we write two functions. How those two functions are separated. These things is wrapped in one what? A module, and these things is wrapped in one module. So those things are actually done by java.lang. Okay, that's why it is known as wrapper class. You need to remember that, okay, guys? Because in some interviews, people going to ask java.lang is also known as what? So you are going to say it is a wrapper class because it wrap the modules, wrap the modules. Okay, great. So yeah, and scanner is actually present in what we call util class, util package. So we have Java library, Java dot util. Util is the package name. Dot scanner. What scanner? Scanner is the class name. Okay, I think right now you can understand. If somebody don't know that what import java.util the scanner. So Java is actually the library. Util is the what? Package. And scanner is the class. Okay. So let write that import java.util.scanner. Okay. So you can see the error is gone. But are you going to use scanner every time? Means how many what class name we can remember? So many classes are there inside util. If you can see, if I just inside util, I write anything else. It is not showing. Let me show you in the Google. Java util package. Guys, see, if you have any doubt, you can directly go to this docs. Just type it in Google, whatever you want. You can go to Oracle docs and see what the things are. See, inside this util package, we have so many classes or interfaces. We have collection, comparator, DQ, enumerator, formatter. See, scanner will be there. Split. Those are the interfaces. And in classes, we have map, abstract, base, so many classes. Okay, yeah. See, here's the scanner class. So many classes and interfaces are there. We're not going to remember everything, right? Because how someone can remember everything. So what we simply does, instead of writing scanner, we just write a star. So when you write star, what it does, it just import all the classes, like except the particular scanner class, except that particular scanner class. If I write util dot star, then what it does, it just take all the class, import all the classes. There's nothing like scanner. It also imports scanner, collection, or whatever you see, what type of, yeah, everything. It will import everything. Okay. So after it importing everything, we are clear because scanner is inside it. After scanner, what you can do? In integer, let's suppose num is equal to in dot. So what I did here, let's write a print statement. Enter. This is enter. Okay. There is no output statement. I only write input. Okay. Enter. I enter 10. That's it. Program over. It just show me enter something, I enter 10. So let's study this. Oh, I think it is visible now. This can be visible now. So what it does, here's the simple print statement. Print statement. So this is understandable, right? So here I create an object of scanner type, and what I said, scanner is a class. So I create the object of a class scanner, and I what I named it, I named it as in. Okay, I think till here it is understandable. Then what I did, I just write integer num. What I want to, I create a variable of data type integer. Then I need to take the input, user input. So for user input, I write in because in is the object. In object I already created. And for object, I write next int. Means it will take only integer input. Okay, this is the keyword next int. There is some several keywords are there, but let me try because guys you need to learn the error also because any programming languages are actually incomplete. Learning of programming language is incomplete if you don't know the error. You need to do the error handling also. Let's I mentioned it well. Integer now and next int let I type something character ch. Yeah, some error is going to show. What the error is show? That exception in the thread in main util input mismatch exception. What is input mismatch? Like I write over here next int. Okay, I need to take the input as integer, but what I give the input some string. Okay, that's why it's a input mismatch exception. So every time whenever you're going to code anything, so whenever you get any error, you just need to go and see what type of error it is. Because we have different types of error also. We have runtime error. We have also what uh, what you can call some error which can't be handled. Why those error can't be handled, and you can see some if you divide some number by zero, that is also an error or not? Because something divided by zero is infinity and not defined. That is the error. Those errors are also going to show over here. So you need to go and just see what error it actually giving, and you need to remember why this error is giving. Okay, so I think it is clear. Int next. So like that we can take. Let me give you the list of what are the list means in yeah, for uh, scanner class, scanner input, scanner input. So first thing is for integer. For integer, what I write in dot next int. Okay, but guys, you need to take care. Okay, if you give the variable name as anything else, like I give my scanner. So you need to write what? My scanner dot next int. Okay, you need to take care of it. If you give the variable name as my scanner, you need to write my scanner dot next int. But I choose to write some simple word. That's why I write in. So for integer, it is next int. For any string, for any string, we have in dot only next. Okay, nothing else, only next. Yeah, and that I is capital. Yesterday, I think I tell you about camel hump convention. In camel hump naming convention, what? The starting letter of any will be small, but the second starting, like next is small, but integer. The second words starting letter is what? Cap. capital letter. If I write my, then scanner, S is capital, like that. This is called camel hump. This is the camel head, and this is the camel's hump. Hump is capital. Camel convention. So you need to follow this convention. Okay, this will make you easily remember those keywords. Next is for string. Then we have C. If I write Chinmay, that is a single string. But if I write Chinmay and I give a space, this is my first name Chinmay, I give a space and write Pradhan. This is my last name. Okay. Chinmay space Pradhan. But those entire string, this in dot next will not accept. If any space, enter or tab is there, in dot next will not accept it. In dot next only accept a single string. So taking the entire line, means reading the entire line, what we do for entire line reading, what we do, we just write in dot next, simply write line. Okay. What it does, it just take the entire input. It takes Chinmay space Pradhan, after that whatever it is done. Okay, great. Just write this in your notebook. For integer, we write next int. For string, we write next. For entire line, we write next line. Then for character, let's suppose we want a character input like only C, only A, or only B, only D. So how we can take it? There's nothing like character, but for a character, what we can do is just simply write in dot next. Okay, dot caret 0. This will take only one character. See, next we'll take the entire string. So caret 0, what does it mean? The entire strings, only one character it will be take. Okay, that's what caret 0 is there. There is nothing like specifically we can declare, means what, take the input from the user. The input we need to write next, then we need to write caret 0. Then what we take? If you take any floating point, then you can write in dot next capital F float. Okay. And if you write long or double, like long or double, just write for long. Okay. So in dot next long capital L O N G, long type of data type. And for double, what you can do, in dot next double capital D capital double. Okay. So these are 7, and I think something for sort also there, and for byte you can write it for byte also. For byte also you can write in dot, I think it is next byte. In dot next byte, you can write it. Okay, just write this 8 what I call conventions, or 8 what classes, scanner classes present in scanner classes. Just write this 8 functions. Okay, you can pause it and write it. We need to move forward. So let's see what I did. If I need to enter my name, so what I write? I just need to write a string. I need to write a string of next line. Okay, let's first try next. Int next. So if I write Chinmay, then it is okay. It is showing no error. Okay. But what happened if I write, suppose again I run it. If I write Chinmay Pradhan, Chinmay underscore Pradhan. What happened if I write this? Okay, I think Java just update their packages. But before that, Yeah. Yes, guys. Java just updated their packages, so that's why it takes the enter right now. Yes, yes. Yes, guys. Java just updated the packages name. So next also taking the everything. Chinmay Pradhan. Okay. But you need to follow the convention. Okay. Next line. Next line going to take. Yeah. You need to write, if you write some space and some column or some commas over there, so you need to write next line. Okay. But if you're going to write only single word, if you write only single word, then just use next. Then after that, let write about string. We can write about float. Float num is equal to uh, in dot next float. Let's suppose in dot next float. Right? Okay. If I write 12, it is also taking 12. Okay. Can anybody say if I write over here float and I give an integer, then also it is taking the correct output. But if I write like integer num and in dot next, if I write an integer and giving a floating point 12.12, then it gives an input mismatch exception. Can anybody say like what happening actually? If I give float, okay, if I mention float and input an integer, then it is acceptable. But if I give an integer and I input a float, then it is not acceptable. Why? That concept is called typecasting. I think last class also someone said that typecasting. I just keep this point over here to make you understand how a typecast actually works. What is typecasting? Okay, what is typecasting? See, any type of compiler or any type of a language you consider, those languages can actually convert an integer to float. Okay, like if I write 12 and I give it as a float, so machine will take 12.00. Okay, but if I input 12.25 and give it as an integer, machine will not take it. Machine say no, it is a what? Floating point. I'll not take it. It is a floating point, I'll not take. But if I give an integer input to a float, means like I give an integer input to a float, machine will take it because machine convert it internally. It just mentioned 0.00. So that internal typecasting is there. But we can typecast it in our own. Like if we want to typecast it, we can typecast it uh, means by our own. So how we can typecast? Like if I want some floating, sorry, I want some integer. I want some integer number, and I know that my point is 12.25. It is a floating point, right? But I want an integer. So what I can do, I can just simply write int, okay, in front of it. The same is for floating point. Let's see then example. I think this gives an error, right? If I write float, I think when I write 12.12, it is giving an error, input mismatch error. So what I can do, I just simply typecast it and write it int, integer. And then if I type 12.12, So input message description. Okay, it is already an integer. If I pass, okay, sorry. So this actually takes the entire input. So we can't do any change over here because the next int only accept the input. Okay. But what we can do, we can typecast it. Next int only take this. So if I write 12, it will show me 12. Okay, great. But if I just simply typecast this number, okay, if I just convert it into float, I can enter 12. Yeah, as you can see, if I just simply write float in front of num, it will be show me a floating point number, 12.0. But simply if I just print it, a simple print the number, it will show me 12. If I write 12, it is just showing me 12. If I just simply printing the number. If I typecast it, it shows me 12.0. Means it is converted into a floating point number. So I think when I tried to convert that, but what happened actually, next int can only accept integer. Okay. And whenever I try to give what a floating point as a input, it will not accept. From the beginning, it just decline it. Also, if I just if you know remember integer n is equal to 80 and then integer n equal to 10. When I do n divided by m, let's delete all of this. Okay. If I did n divided by m, you get 8. Okay. If I do 85 divided by 10, run it, then also you get 8. And I also give you the it means what that anything 85 divided by 10 or 89 divided by 10, what it does 8.9. But since both are integers, so what you take only integer point, it will just decline the means what ignore the floating point. But I want that 89 divided by 10, I exactly want 8.9. Okay, that's my uh, output. So how I can do that? So I can do that just by simply typecast it. I can typecast by right float. If I do float typecast, then again run, it will give me 8.5. Okay, I can simply typecast it to 8.5. Okay, guys. But previously, what I get only 8 because it ignores the floating point because both are integer. But if I typecast this division, then at that time I get the exact point value. Okay, I think this is clear about input and output. That much about input and output. Also, let's learn some naming convention in output. Okay, this is going to help you. Like if I want, let's keep this. Okay, if I want my output some string, right? I write to write some string. Like my name is okay. If I want to write some string, then I can simply write it under the double quote. Under the double quote, I write any string. Okay. Plus. Plus what plus does? Plus concatenate just simple things. Any concatenate. Like if I write n, then what it does? Just concatenate n. N is 85. As n is 85, it just concatenate n with me. Like my name is there, this string is there, concatenate 85. That's it. Okay. So as you can see, if I write any variable inside it, I am not do any double quote. I'm not going to write it inside any double quote. But if I going to write any string, that is, I'm just declaring any string, then I can write it in double quote. Let's take the example of string is equal to, yes, I will, string, sorry, as string is not there, I need to create an object. str type name, string type name. Okay. If I write string, variable is name, and I write Chinmay. Okay. I'm not going to write name inside the what double quote. I just simply write name. All the variable I just simply need to write it. Yeah, Chinmay. All the variable just simply need to write it. But if you need to mention anything specific, so then you need to write it inside the double quote. Like name is Chinmay. Last I can write my title. Yeah. So those things. That's how we can concatenate. And inside this print function, we can also do what some operations, mathematical operation like n plus m. I can directly do over here. 95. 85 plus 10 is equal to 95. Okay. But what happened if I write name plus m? Only name plus m, not n plus m. I just write name plus m. At that time, you see, it is just not adding because how we can add a string with an integer? It is not possible, right? So what it does, it just simply perform the concatenation operation. So what is concatenation and what is adding? So inside this print statement, the plus, it actually works as a adding and also works as a concatenation. If there is any string, then it is simply concatenate. Like if I write Chinmay and I write any character 75. Yes, there is a string. A string is already present, it is simply concatenate 75. But if 75 plus 25 is there, then what it does, it just simply add them. And what is the 100? Okay, that's the work of plus. So here I think you all guys clear about input and output. So after input and output, we are directly going to jump to array. Let's see array. Let's see array. So what is an array basically? Like as I mentioned earlier, array is basically a sequence of symbols. You can call this sequence of what we call symbols in contiguous memory location. Okay, this is actually the definition of array. This is not a bookish definition, but in book you also find this. This is a sequence of characters or numbers. Something is written in continuous memory location. Contiguous memory location. This is the definition of array. So what it said? There is a sequence of symbols. Like I have a symbol at the rate. It is a symbol. One is also a symbol. A is also a symbol. Small a is also a symbol or not. Those are symbols. Sequence of symbols like A, then B. Also, yeah, array has sequence of what we call similar symbols. Okay, I can't write A1 B. This is not acceptable in array. Array can't do it. Similar symbols means what? They have same data type. Same data type. If I write integer array, then I need to input all the integers. Okay. If I write character array, then I need to input all the characters. But I can't just combine them. Like I can't write 1, 2, then A, B. This is not acceptable. Okay. Let's see. This is the basic definition of array. Right now, let's study what that mean actually. Sequence of characters. So A, B, then I can see then capital D, Z, Y, those, you know, and same data type. Yeah, all of them are characters. Data type is what? Characters. Yeah. Somebody have doubt that maybe why not string? String data type because sequence of characters is actually called string. There's nothing like string array. Okay, there's nothing like string array because if we write a sequence of character, that become a string. Okay, so there is nothing like string array. String is all something we call character array. Okay, so there's nothing like string array. So like same data type. This is also completed. Continuous memory location. What is continuous memory location? First of all, you need to know continuous. What is means continuous? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is continuous or not? Is it continuous? 1, 2, 10, 11, 20. This is continuous. Okay. But is it continuous? No, because there is no relation between two consecutive numbers, but there is a relation plus one, plus one, plus one. So this is continuous. This is not continuous. Similarly, array store memory in a continuous memory location. Like if I consider it as 0, then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the continuous. And this, what we call, let me draw the structure of array, a proper structure of array. This is how what an array looks like. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can write till anything, okay? And here let it be 100, 200, 300, and 700. Okay. So what these things are? These things we call index number. Index number. What these things are? These things are memory location. Memory location. I write 200, but let's suppose if we consider the integer, then it will be actually 4 difference, right? So we can write as 100. So I can write it as 104, 108, 112, 116, 120, 124. Okay. Because let's suppose I consider an integer array. So integer have 4 bytes. So this thing's going to store what? 4 bytes. This thing going to store 4 byte, 4 byte, 4 byte. So if it is 100, it is going to be 104. It is going to be 108. So it is a continuous chunk of memory. So if somebody asks you like what are the characteristics of an array, so I think you all guys can say it contains what? Sequence of similar symbols on memory location. Memory location. Okay. Sequence of similar symbols in contiguous memory location. Those two things you need to means remember for an array. So these are the index numbers. These are the memory location. I can write any integer inside it. Okay. If I want, I can write 64. Here I can write 72. Here I can write, let's suppose 19. Here I can write 50. Here I can write 11, 13, 11. Yes, exactly. Those are the, what? Similar symbols because all of those symbols are belong to integers. Continuous memory location, yes. This is continuous memory location. And this is the index number. And when we do anything in array, we consider this index number. So a syntax for how we can declare an array. Syntax for array declaration. So if you guys notice, we already create an array. If you can notice, string array edges. If you notice this, there is an argument array of type string, but this is not like we don't have any string type of array. But what it does, string is an object. Okay, that object is a args. Let me give how we can write it. Like if I want to create an integer array, just simply write integer array is equal to new step. So what it does, there is an integer data type. Okay, integer data type, and we create an array. This symbol actually denote array. Okay, this symbol denote array, and this is a variable, and this is assignment operator. New will what? Allocate memory, allocate memory, and what this thing does? This thing what it does? It's a yeah. This guy going to need a integer array of size 10. Integer array of size 10. So how much memory it going to allocate me? If my size is 10 into each going to store what? 4 bytes. So it's going to give me 40 bytes. 40 bytes. Because new statement going to what? Allocate memory. So this thing going to give me the what? Size. That 40 bytes. Please allocate 40 bytes to array. That's variable. Okay. It will allocate like that. So let's write a simple code for array. You can write what? Integer array is equal to new integer 10 or size 10. Since we are writing 10, what we can do? We can just simply array array is equal to 2, 3, 4, 4, 6, array constants. Wait, I already create an array. So yes, I already create an object. This one, right? 1, 2. Okay, this is the other method for declaration of array. Either I can declare the array like previous, like here. Here I can declare the array, and here I can give the input according to what what the user wants. But here you need to give the input. Okay, you need to give the input. So this is how you can declare an array, or else you can declare like integer array 2 is equal to new integer of size 10, new integer of size 10. Both are acceptable. Now let's see how we can just do all the functionalities with array. So I will give you the simple syntax how you can write. So first of all, you need to set this. Okay, if user want 20, if user want let's suppose 50 number of element inside the array, then how user can give? So you can change it according to user. So just simply write inside the inside write number of elements you want. Elements you want. Okay, write number of elements you want. Done. Then what you need to do? You just copy it. Then let me use the scanner class. Scanner in is equal to scanner. Okay. What scanner does? Scanner will make the user to input the data. Okay. Let the user integer n, input the data by its own, integer data. User need to input an integer data. So user going to input the data. So this data, this n, I can put here. Okay, I think you can understand here that what I did, I just write a scanner class and take the user input. The user will right now input write the number of elements you want in the array. So if user input 10, then the array will be of size 10 because n is here and n is on user input dependent. If user write 11, the array is of size 11. Then I need to write the individual element. Okay. Yes. Write the elements. Write the elements. After creating the array, I need to write the elements or not. So how I can write? Just create a simple for loop of integer I is equal to 0. Okay. Here I use integer I equal to 0 to I less than n. Can anybody say why I write less than n, not equal to n? Because size is, if I create size 10, I must write from 0 to 10, right? Then less than 10 is 9. So why I going to write 9? The basic thing is that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many numbers are there? Just means forget the count, but how many numbers are there? 10 numbers. So size is 10. So that's why we every day write 0 to less than the length. Okay. 0 to less than the length. So less than 9 I write. Then right now I need to input, right? So what I can do? I can just simply input. So for that I can call array of index I going to be stored in the next int. I'm going to do the dry run here. Then I think you all going to understand how it is happening everything. Yeah, elements output elements. Okay, and simply write the default and size file. Okay, let's do it. How many elements you want? I want 5 elements. Write the elements. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay, I write 5 elements. But what happened if I write 6 elements? What happened? Let's see. Yeah, it will take only 5 elements till here. It just ignored the sixth one. But in some compiler, you see it just given error. It will throw an error that there is an index out of bound. Means more number of elements you added, but your array size is small. Okay, index out of bound error can be shown in some ID, but since right now the IDs are actually what upgraded, so for that reason, what happened? It just simply ignore it. Okay, it just give the take the 5 input and give the output for them. Okay, so right now let's do it. Let's do the dry run for it. Just give the dry run. It's clear? Yeah, it's clear. So let's do the dry run. What I did. Here is the scanner to take the user input. Then I store that input in n. N is the integer type. Then what I do, I just pass this n to here inside the array. So right now the array is of size n. And in my prompt, what I write 5. N is equal to 5. So right now the array is of size 5. Then I run a loop. This loop is for accepting, because now means I'm not going to do like accept it for array 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to write each statement for everyone. I can write it, but who is going to write everything? If we have a loop, we have loop for that, right? Means if I have something like a series of numbers, so I can use loop for that. So I am going to write like for array 0, accept 1, for array 1, accept 2. Those are index number. I think you remember the index number 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are index number. Okay. So for array 0, write 1. For array 1, write 3. For array of index 2, write 14. 14. So I'm not going to do like that manually. So that's why I use a for loop, because we have a loop. So why don't we use it? I just use the loop and write it. Yes. Oh, so what I did, array of size 5. So I define array of size 5, then for loop. For what happened? I is equal to 1 to, sorry, I is equal to 0 to I less than 5. Means I will be run for 0, I will be run for 1, 2, 3, 4. Those things we needed. Okay. Then I plus plus, every time I will increase. Then we did array of I. Like initially what it happened? Array of 0, that is an user input in dot next integer. What this thing does? Ask user to input something. Let user input 4. Then I plus plus. This statement is done. Then loop started I plus plus. What it does? Array 1. Let user input 5. Array 2. Let user input 15. Array 3. Let user input 20. Array 4 of index 4. So this is the index 4. So let user input let 100. Okay. Then after that what happened? I will be 5. Once I will be 5, but I is less than 5 or not, then loop will be terminated and it will come out of the loop. So right now my array is stored these things. So these things is stored in the array like 4, 5, 15, 20, 100. This is stored in the memory like that. I don't know the memory location. Let say what memory location. This is 100. This is 104. This is 108. This is 112. 116. I don't know memory location because memory location are in the hash value. So I just give an example of the memory location. But this is how the array is already created. Then right now, after creating the array, what I need to do? I need to print the array also. So that's why I just print the array. Same. What I used to take the input, same I used to print it. Just what I did. In place of this, I just write this thing. Like initially, it will call array of 0. What it find? It will find 4. So it will print 4. Then it will call 5. Then print 5. Then array of 2. Then it will print 15. Array of I when I is equal to 3. Array of 3. Then what will print? Array of 3. Array of 3 printing store 0. Then array of 4. Array of 4 what is stored? 100. So what happened? This is something we learn. Okay. Let I show you something unique. If I only write array, what does it print? 5. Yeah, guys, do you see it? If I only write array, what the output is and what this thing is. Okay, I think you all guys means won't understand what this thing is, but let me give you a summary of what actually. Just a minute. Let me copy the output. If I write only array, so what it does, you guys see, number of input, I write the array. So I think array is stored like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the array already created. But in place of array with index number like 0, 1, 2, what I did, I just write only array, ARR. So it just show me a number 5 times because the loop is running for 5 times. Loop is running for 5 times. That's why it show me a same number for 5 times. So what this number is? Basically, in Java, what happened? Anything you created, any variable you created, those variable like array is a variable. Okay, those variable actually what it does, this array actually pointing here. Okay, get my point. Okay, let me clear this. Actually, this is one of the important things. If I only write array, this array actually pointing here. And what is here? Here is the memory location. Memory location. It is actually pointing to the starting memory location. Starting memory location. Those are the data. Okay, don't get confused. Those are the datas. But what is the starting memory location? 100. Like I am giving example. 100. This is 104. This is 105. So those are the starting memory location. Okay, 100. So if I only write array, so what the system did, what the system do? System only what? Show you the starting memory location only, not the elements. To access the element, you need to write array with index number. Okay. If you simply write array, you are going to get the memory location in the hash form. Okay, this is a hexadecimal hash form. This memory location you're going to get. So these things can also ask in interview. Okay, so here the array ends, and if someone want to create a 2D array, I think many of you know what is 2D array. If anyone want to create a 2D array, how they can create? Just write a for loop. Inside that for loop, write another for loop. Okay, this will create a 2D array. And if someone want to create a 3D array. So what they need to do? Write a for loop. Inside that for loop, write another for loop. And inside this for loop, write another for loop. So this is how we can create a 3D array. Let me show you the example of 2D array. Then you all can create a 3D array. Okay. So for 2D array, what do you do? You just give n and f. Let's suppose I create a square array, means square matrix. 2D array is also known as matrix, right? So let's suppose I create a square n into n. Let's just simply remove that. I'm creating a matrix of size 10, and this size will be 5. Okay. I'm creating a size, what? Number of row is 10 and number of column is 5. Now you ask how you know that it is number of rows and it is number of columns. See, when I write array 10 and 5, what it implies? For 1, it has 5 data. Then for 2, means for 0th index, it has 5 data. For 1th index, it has 5 data. For 2th index, it has 5 data. Similarly, for what? 9th index, because 10 number of elements, so 0 to 9. So for 9th index, it has 5 data. Okay. So in that way, you can consider that yes, this is the row number. Okay. See, this is the row number. And 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these all are the column numbers. What do we call? Columns. We call it columns. We call it rows. Exactly. That's how you can dry run it. So let's create a matrix or 2D array. And here also you need to change. Okay, you just need to write another square bracket pair. But if you want to create a 3D array, then you write another square bracket pair, and here you can write there's anything 3. Right now it is a 3D array. Right now 4D array, 5D array, how many array you want to create, you can create it. So how 3D array actually functioning? See how 3D array is functioning. If I write array 10, 5, 3, then just imagine it in a 3D. Okay, there is 0 at 0th index. I have 5 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's suppose these 1, 2, 3, 4 is considered. There is a star. Okay. I think you can imagine it. Just imagine like a building. This is 0, 1, 2. Okay, this is what 3D array will look like. Similarly, for what? If this is 0, this is 0, and this is 1. So it is just going to this 0th index. Here, let's suppose this is 2. Okay, this is 2. This is 2. Sorry, this is 5. Let's suppose if this is 2. So what it does, it just comes 0, then just visit to 2. In 2, it's just going to 1. 1. So I think you can imagine it. If I construct this is 1, 5, and here it is 3, 3. Okay, and take it like a single element. There's 10. Initially, 10 boxes will be there. Each box then again separated into 5 boxes, 5 different boxes. And these boxes again separated into 3 boxes. Okay. Like if you want to store your course, means in college you want to store your course. In course you want to store what? Your class, or in college what we have? Years. Years. And inside years if you want to store the classes. So you can do like that. Okay. Multiple. So let's see how we can do a 2D array. So we already have a single array, right? I have a single array. Just inside this, write another follow for integer j equal to 0 to j less than what array? Let do it for a 2D array. Okay. I think you can figure out what we need to do for 3D array. J less than 10, or just take some less value, 5 and 3. Let's suppose this is 3. Less than 3 j plus plus. Just input the value. Let's go. Let's I and j. Okay. Okay. So what I did, enter, repeat. Okay, great. So what I did, I see that first I need to visit the rows. Okay. So for rows, I write this column. Then I need to visit the column. So for column, I write this one. But how I can give them, means mark them from the index number? So that is I and j. First row number, then index number. Means at I equal to 0, let's suppose, let me run it also. Output. Let me create an array of what I call 3 into 15 characters. Write the elements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, this thing's 15. So now you say, yeah, it is just looking like a simple array. Then how we can just differentiate it? Let me do it for you. Okay, this is something like this thing we write. So write the number of elements. So elements. Already write that it is of what? Size 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And each going to be divided into again 3. So this is going to divide into 3. Then these things are also going to divide into 3. And till this, everything's going to divide into 3. Okay. Okay. Now let's see what it does. I start from 0 to less than 5. So first is 0. For 0, then what I go? From 0, I just come here. Then 0 to 3. That's what? Index will be 0, 1, 2. This is for I. This is for j. Okay. What I write 1, 2, 3. Let's suppose. Means I give the data 1, 2, 3. Then this loop will be over. Then what? Again, it come to this for loop. This for loop. It is 1 for 1. Again 0, 1, 2, 3. J value. What I store? 4, 5, 6. Okay. So again, this loop will be over. Then it is coming to here again. Then for 2, I need to store. For 3, I need to store. For 4, I need to store. When it is 4, I store what? 15, 14, 13. I store them. After I store them, what happened? This loop over, then it's come here. This it say yeah, it is 4, but again it is 5. If it is 5, I'm not going to enter. So I will be come out of the loop. It is come out of the loop. So after coming out of the loop, I'm going to print like this. Printing statement is also like this. So if anybody have any doubt in 2D array or 1D array, they can please say any doubt. It is necessary to have okay. Yes, sir. Contains a sequence of object or values belonging to the same data type. Yeah, that's the thing. Sequence of object or values, you can simply call it as a what? Symbols. And here it is it necessary to have a blank line on line 248? No, this is nothing like line 248. You can just simply delete them. Those actually make means what? Making it looks good. That's why I just give the what spaces or what enter. But you can what leave this because when compiler what see when compiler compiles it, it just remove everything, right? It just remove those enters and those spaces. Compiler going to remove everything. So this is not necessary to write those blank spaces. Okay. Do we also have return value for this function? See, there is only one function main, so there is no return value because I write void. But if you're creating another function, then you can write void function or else you can write any returnable function, which can going to be return. Uh, this is the address maybe. Yeah, like the array, what these things give, this thing. That is, yeah, this thing. This thing actually a address. This thing actually address of what? The starting point address. Starting point address. Okay. Anybody have any other doubt? Please ask me here. Hello guys. Do anybody have any doubt? Yeah, we will share it. Don't worry about it. Guys, array is actually a base of Java or any other programming language. Okay, great. No doubt. Okay. I think we have less time. Uh, I think we can start.
Okay.
Just a minute, Prajna. I just give me 2 minutes for completing some remaining topics of array. So, guys, by using this array, we just see what we can do, right? But what happen if a predefined array is already given to me, like array, an integer array is already given to me. A predefined array is already given to me, right? I don't know his size because let the user input an array. I don't know his size, but I need to print this array again. Okay, I just simply need to print this array again. So what I need to do? I'm not going to what? Ah, since there is no way, right? How I can print that? I only know the starting point, but I don't know the ending point where it is end. Because for starting and ending, I must know the what? Our index value, but I know the starting index is 0, but I don't know the ending index. So at that case, what I do is simply write array dot length. Okay, array dot length. What array dot length does, it just simply gives me how many elements present in the array. Like if you create any array, okay, of any like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many? What is the size of the array? It is starting from 0, ending at 6. But what is the size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The size is 7. So if you do array dot length, it will give you the size of the array 7. Okay. So yes, it is just giving the size of the array as 7. After I get the size of the array, what I can do, I can just simply okay, I can just simply print it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 6. Exactly. Get my point. This is actually going to be helpful when you are going to solve the DSA problems. So this is array dot length function. Okay, guys. So I think we already crossed the time also. So this is for today's session, and from tomorrow we start string and everything about string and also oops concept. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, pleasure.
Okay, thank you so much, Inma, and everybody who joined. I hope it was helpful to you guys. Okay, we will again meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you all.